Hey everybody, how's it going? This is the Scrapper Tap podcast. Today we're going to be breaking down, giving my predictions for UFC 255. We have two title fights. We got Davison Figueiredo versus Alex Perez and then we have Valentina Shevchenko versus Jennifer Maia. Man, it's a pretty good card. All in all, we got early prelims. And the regular prelims and a main card. We got a lot of fights to break down, so we're going to make it a pretty quick card. We're going to fire through the prelims, break down the main card a little more, and give you my predictions. So here we go. To start off the night, we got the minus 410 Luis Cosce versus Sasha Palatnikov. Man, so we got some up-and-comers making their UFC debut to start off the night. Some pretty good fights. Not gonna lie, I did a little bit of research. Luis looks real sharp, man. He's a big favorite, I think, for a reason. Now, I won't be surprised if, Sasha comes out here and pulls something off. I'm sticking with the odds, and minus 410, that's... It's hard to go off of two up-and-comers, right? Sasha maybe can be a good play for DK, but I'm probably going to stay away from that. So I'm going to take Luis Cosce, the minus 410, to get it done. And then after that, we got, in the middleweight division, we got minus 310 Kyle Daukaus versus Dustin Stoltzfus, the plus 255. All right, so Kyle Daukaus, man, we've seen his brother just fight recently. I think Kyle's more of the grappling one, but he did lose to a decision against Brandon Allen in his last fight. I think he has a lot of potential. I don't think the odds, honestly, should be this big, this wide open. I think it should be a little bit closer. I think this Dustin kid's he's real tough. I think he's going to put on a pretty dang good fight, but I think Kyle Daukaus is going to come in hungry after that first fight, and he got thrown to Brendan Allen, which is that's a tough opponent, so, I'm going to roll with Kyle Daukaus. I think if you have any info on Dustin, man, or, think he's a stud or think he's good and, anything, take that, man, because that's good odds. But I got to roll with Kyle Daukaus, and I think he's going to get it done with a good amount of takedowns. And I think he might even find a submission. So I'm going to take Kyle Daukaus to get it done. After that, we got the minus 145 Alan Jouban versus Jared Gooden, the plus 125. So Alan Jouban coming in at the minus 145. So I think, let me double check. I think he's like, I know he's getting up there in age. I think he's 38. Yeah, he's 38 years old. Kind of thought he was already pushing 40, but hey, that's up there. 38 years old. And then he's taking on Jared Gooden, which is a younger fighter, up and coming in. He's making his UFC debut. I've seen him fight quite a few times. He's a scrappy dude, a lot of output. He's going to come and put on a war. I think he's going to put on a good fight. I'm trying to think of conditioning wise. Jouban's always had pretty dang good conditioning. I think he's going to come in there and put on a war. And I don't know if Jared Gooden's conditioning is quite as good, but I'm not going to say he's going to gas. I can see him coming. I can see him putting away Allen. Man, he has the age on him. He's 26 years old, and Alan Jouban's coming towards the end at 38 years old. And I don't think we've seen him fight. Yeah, we saw him fight in 2019, and he lost to Dwight Grant. And his last win was in 2018 against Ben Saunders. So, man, he's great. He's a great fighter. He's been in there with some tough guys and had some great wars. I think that experience is what's going to make me... I really would like to see Alan Jouban come out, get a nice win, and end his career. So I think I'm going to go with Alan Jouban over Jared Gooden, man. That's going to be a tough one. I like Jared Gooden in this underdog position, though I might have him on a couple DraftKings cards. But I think Alan Jouban, if this goes to decision, I think he's going to... use his smarts and his fight IQ to get that decision. Long as he can put that same output that Jared Gooden, can do. Or, if Jared Gooden tires out at the end, I think Alan Jouban, can take over. And I think he's going to win by decision. So I'm going to take Alan Jouban by decision. After that, we got the minus 320 Daniel Rodriguez versus Nicholas Dalby, the plus 260, who we just saw fight pretty recently. believe he lost, was it by submission or decision? But we just saw him recently. Let's check it out. So, yeah, we saw him. Yeah, he lost by submission. Yeah, I was right. To Jesse Ronson. Was that the one that just got overturned? I could be wrong. But, so he lost by submission. Here's the thing, man. I like this Daniel Rodriguez kid, and he is on, or not a kid, he's 33 years old, but I like this guy. He is on a tear of late. His last fight was a KO win over Dwight Grant. Before that, Gabe Green decision, and then the Tim Means submission. So, man, I'm liking Daniel Rodriguez. I think he's going to come in, keep that momentum going. I see a knockout coming. I think a first round TKO. Or KO for Daniel Rodriguez. I'm liking this one. This could be like totally opposite. It could be fight of the night type of thing, and it can go, all 3 rounds of bloody war. That would not surprise me. Both these guys are there to throw down, but I'm going to take Daniel Rodriguez in this position to get it done by KO. All right, after that, we got the minus 155 Antonina Shevchenko versus Ariana Lipski, the plus 135. So when I first looked at this, I was like, all right, Shevchenko got the reach. She has that, I feel like slightly better striking. I don't know, because Lipski comes out there and puts on, she's down to take a couple shots, man. She has that in a submission win over Luna Carolina in her last fight. But before that, she was in a decision fight against Molly McCann, which I feel like this one can play out. This fight can play out to that one, like the Molly McCann one. I think it can go to decision, but I think Lipski's has a shot to get the better side of this. Here's another thing with Shevchenko. I thought she was going to be the next big thing in the flyweight division. And after that, her debut, who was it to? It was someone Roxanne Modafferi. When she lost to Roxanne Modafferi, that kind of turned me off. I was like, okay, this could be tough. She came back against Podolova, won by submission, but then once she took that step up in competition against Caitlin Chookagain, she lost the decision. This is not the same step up. I think Lipski's, I guess she's right in that same category as Chookagain. But, man, I like Lipski here. I think she's going to get in a war. I think she's going to turn it into a war, and I think she's going to have a little bit more dog in her than Shevchenko. So I'm going to take Ariana Lipski to get it done. Plus, she is the slight underdog. I like that here. So I'm going to take that underdog money with Ariana Lipski by decision. I don't think that's going to be a popular pick. I think a lot of people are going to be on both Shevchenko sisters, and I'll definitely be on Valentina. But I'm rolling with Lipski in this one. All right. After that, we got Joaquin Buckley, which we just saw come off possibly the KO of the year. He's the minus 255 versus Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright's coming in at the plus 215. He's 11-0. All right, here's the thing, guys. Joaquin Buckley, I like him. He has power. I think he can come in here and starch Jordan. But we can't forget he also got starched by Kevin Holland. And Kevin Holland, we know, he's a stud. But are we looking at Buckley because of this crazy KO over Impa? Is that why he's the minus 255? I think this one should be slightly closer. I don't think Jordan Wright's the greatest fighter or anything, but I think he's going to come in there and put on a solid war, put in a good fight. His last fight, he KO'd Ike Villanueva. Ike's not the same competition as Joaquin Buckley, so I think we're really going to get to see, this is going to be a good test for Jordan Wright. And then I first saw it, I was like, wow, that big of an underdog. I wanted to roll with Jordan Wright, but I'm going to go with the hype here with Buckley, but hopefully he did not, lighten up in his training or anything after that big KO and all the bonus he got. Hopefully he stays hungry, comes in there, shows his power. I think he can knock out Jordan Wright. But I think this can be a tough fight, man. And Jordan Wright, that's not a bad one for DK right there. That's a good underdog. But I'm taking Joaquin Buckley to get it done. After that, we got minus 190 Brendan Moreno versus Brandon Royval, the plus 165. So I have not been the last 3 fights Royval has fought. I've taken his opponent. It was Tim Elliott and Kai Kara France. Oh, well, those are his last 2 fights. I chose against him. I'm also a big fan of Kai Kara-France, so maybe that's one of the reasons. But he's proved me wrong, and going into that, I was like, I saw this, I was like, oh, Brandon Royval, who's he fighting? And I see Brandon Moreno, and I'm like, oh, is this another position I'm going to have to go against him? Because this guy keeps proving me wrong. These are both tough, young, tough killers in the flyweight division. And Brandon Moreno's coming off a win over Formiga, a decision win. He looked really good in that one. And then a decision win over Kai Kara-France, and a draw over Askar Askarov, which I thought he won. But I get it. Askar had some takedowns. And then, in 2018, he lost to Pantoja. But since that loss, he's been on a run. Brandon Moreno, I think he's going to come in there as the stronger guy. I think that might help in the takedowns. Maybe Brandon Moreno turns straight to a takedown on Royval. He's going to have to be careful. Royval is very sneaky. He can slap up a submission super quick. And, man, he's actually surprised me with his stand-up. He looked good against Kai Kara-France. He's kind of been surprising me a bit. But, man, I'm going to have to go against him one more time. I'm going to take Brandon Moreno here. The assassin baby. Brandon Moreno. I think the experience is going to help him out here. I think it's going to be a dogfight. And it will not surprise me if Brandon Royval pulls this off. If you're with Royval, go with it. Don't take my advice here, man. I've been wrong on him his last two fights, but I'm taking Brandon Moreno to get it done. I think by decision, but I think it's going to be a tough fight. All right, after that, we got the plus 152 Shogun Rua versus Paul Craig, the minus 188. Okay, this is going to be a fun one, man. A few years ago, I would have probably said Shogun Rua, no doubt. But man, he's up there in age. He's 38 years old, and he's been in some wars. But we could just talk about his last couple. He does have a win over Nogueira, another opponent that's up there in age. And before that, the draw, because this is their second fight, against Paul Craig. And then a KO win over Tyson Pedro. And then before that, the loss to, a loss to Anthony Smith, man. So Shogun Rua has actually been fighting really great competition and been staying active for his age, man. There's just something that tells me there's more upside in Paul Craig. I know he's 32 years old, light heavyweight division. He's coming off a nice submission win over Antigulov. Oh, man, this is a tough one, man. If it stays up, I think Rua might be able to catch Craig, but I think Paul Craig's going to be smart here. I think he's going to maybe take him down, get some ground and pound going, and I wouldn't be surprised if he catches Rua himself. Rua's chin has to be, diminishing just a bit. He's up there in age. I'm taking Paul Craig to get it done, and I'm going to go by submission. I think they're going to be banging for a minute, and No, let's go TKO. TKO for Paul Craig. I think it's going to be some ground and pound, and he's going to get the TKO finish. After that, we got the plus 184 Caitlin Chookagain versus Cynthia Calvillo, the minus 230. And Calvillo has been on a run. She is 9-1. As of late, she has looked super good. She fought Jessica Ai and won that decision. It was pretty dominant, man. I'm pretty sure it was 30-27, if I'm not mistaken. Before that, she has a draw against Marina Rodriguez and then a decision win over Courtney Casey. That was in 2019. Man, she's been active. She's been killing it. She's been doing super good. She's going against another tough opponent. I think Caitlin Chookagain's a little bit tougher than Jessica Ai, in my opinion. I think she has more weapons that Calvillo is going to have to worry about. But she is coming off a KO loss over Jessica Andrade. But before that, she was on a nice little run. But like I said earlier, it was against Antonina Shevchenko. And then before that, she fought her sister and lost Valentina Shevchenko in the flyweight division. I think it's been a tough little 2020 for Caitlin Chookagain. This is her shot to get it back together, but it might be a little bit too soon. And, man, I'm going with Cynthia Calvillo. She's looked sharp. I think they're going to stand up and bang. Caitlin might try to take Cynthia down. I think Cynthia is going to be strong enough to keep it up enough and win the exchanges. So I'm taking Cynthia Calvillo by decision. All right, after that, this might be my favorite fight on the main card. Maybe not, but I think it's going to be a war, so I'm going to hype it up a little bit. We got the minus 142 Mike Perry versus Tim Means, the plus 116. The reason it might be one of my favorites because I do not think it's going to be boring. I think it will be this way and in some type of finish. Mike Perry's coming off a nice win over Mickey Gall. And then before that, a KO loss against Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal's a beast. And then before that, against Luque. So he's been fighting great competition, guys that are going to sit there and bang with him. And I think he has another one in Tim Means. I think Tim Means is going to stand there and bang with him. He would be smart to pull and try to take him down. He proved me wrong against Staropoli, his last fight out. Got a nice decision win. I thought Staropoli was going to come in there and knock out Tim Means. And before that, Daniel Rodriguez got the submission win. Tim Means is actually still hanging in there against tough opponents. I think Mike Perry's going to be a little bit too much for him, man. I think they're going to be swinging, and I think Mike Perry's going to catch him. I'm taking Mike Perry by KO over Tim Means, and I think that's going to be a fun one, man. I think it's going to happen quick. I'm thinking first round, they're just going to get to banging. All right, after that, we got Valentina Shevchenko versus Jennifer Maia, and this is the biggest favorite on the card. This is a minus 1,300 against the plus 850 Jennifer Maia. Man, Shevchenko, I don't think can be touched in this flyweight division. She's been on a run. I don't think we need to go over the last couple wins. Just they've been KO over Caitlin Chookagain. Decision over Liz Carmouche, and then a KO over Jessica Ai. We all remember that head kick. Oh, man, I feel like this is going to be the same fashion. Jennifer Maia, I know she's going to try to probably go and try to take her down, try to find a submission like she did over Calderwood. I just don't think that is going to happen here against Shevchenko. I think it's just going to be too much for her, and I think Shevchenko is going to find another, I want to say like a highlight knockout. I don't want to get too crazy with it, but I think it's going to be a finish. So I'm going to take a TKO win for Valentina Shevchenko over Jennifer Maia. And then after that, we got the main event, the minus 320, Deiveson Figueiredo versus Alex Perez, the plus 245. Now, Alex Perez is a super tough opponent, man. I think he's worthy of this title shot against Figueiredo. He's coming off a KO win over Formiga, submission win over Jordan Espinoza, and man, he's a finisher. He wants to get it done, and I think he's going to try to come in there and do the same thing against Figueiredo. But man, Figueiredo is a different beast. We just saw him off the 2 wins over Joby, submission, and a KO the first time. Oh man, I think this is going to be a tougher fight for him than Joby, because Alex Perez is hungry. He's younger, and this is his time, his title shot. But Figueiredo's been on a tear, man. Before that, he has a submission win over Tim Elliott, decision win over Pantoja, and this was all in 2019 until he got that title fight against Joby. I think Deiveson Figueiredo is going to be too much for Alex Perez. I think he's gonna find that chin of Alex Perez, and I think he can put him to sleep. It would not shock me if Alex Perez comes out here and finds something, man, and get wins the exchanges. But I gotta go with Deiveson Figueiredo. His last couple fights, he's looked super strong, way bigger than his opponent, and I feel like that's gonna be a similar situation in this one. He has the reach on him, an inch shorter, but I think Deiveson Figueiredo's power is gonna do it for him, and I think he's gonna get a TKO win. All right, so my underdog of the night, even though I did not choose him to win the fight, my underdog that I would go with money wise is Brandon Royval, the plus 165. I think he has a good shot against Brandon Moreno, and if the numbers stay at 165, that's a good one to throw a little something on. I think Brandon Royval has a good chance to come out and maybe pull off a submission. And my lock of the night, come on, guys, it has to be Valentina Shevchenko. I think the odds makers obviously have it right. She's going to come out there, outwork Jennifer Maia, and probably knock her out. So that has to be my lock. These are my picks for UFC 255. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Scrapper Tap Podcast.